Okay, listen, I want to talk about how to manage your artboard inside of Illustrator. Artboard management is very important while you're working on a UI and UX design project because you have a lot of screen, you have many screens that you're working for an application or for web design or for any other UI and UX design criteria. You can use artboard management, and you must familiarize yourself with these artboard management tools. Okay, at the first, let's talk about a very tough question that most of the new by graphic designer, most of the people who are new into Adobe Illustrator, that what is the difference between a document and an artboard inside of Illustrator? So, to answer this question, I just want to talk about the document firstly. A document inside of Illustrator is a piece of file, is the main area of your work inside of Illustrator that contain a lot of other artboards. For example, you can create many artboards, dozens of artboards in one specific document, in one single document. So, and on other hand, artboard is the actual screen that you're using, that is the actual canvas that you're using to create your graphic shapes. And artboards are not like documents. You can't create many documents inside of one artboard because documents are collection of many artboards. So it's not a problem if you have one artboard in one document or you have many artboards inside of one document. But in artboard, you cannot have multiple documents inside of one artboard. Okay, hope you got the point of the difference between document and artboard. So, in this lesson, specifically, I'm talking about artboards. So, here I have a document, is a simple UI screen that I've built inside of Illustrator, and you see there is my document name designscreen.ai. AI means Illustrator file. So here is my artboard. It's the main screen that I'm using, that I'm working on it, and I can manage it. For example, if I have 3 screens in here, how can I do that? How can I duplicate this entire artboard without any other problems? Okay, you can create new documents. You can do that with a lot of ways. So at the first, let's talk about how to manage these artboards. So in here, in tools bar, we have something called layers. So in layers, if you're using Illustrator, you know that layers are the actual shapes that we are creating inside of our artboard. Anything that you have inside of your artboard, it's a layer, and you can manage them, you can select them, you can play them from here, layer manager. So on other hand, we have artboard. In here, you can manage your artboard. For example, you can duplicate your artboard, you can delete your artboard, you can do a lot of thing with your artboards in here. So for example, I've selected my first artboard. I have one artboard in here, so it's selected. I can double click on it, I can rename it. For example, the first screen is screen 1, and I can create new artboard in here. Beside of that, I can create a bunch of other artboards in here by clicking here, in this icon, and I can delete this. It is the simple way of managing your artboards. So, if you want to duplicate your artboard, how can you duplicate? So, in tools bar here, we have something called artboard tools. If you click that, you see that a region is appear on border of your artboard. You can place it here in anywhere of your canvas, anywhere of your document. You can choose your presets in here. And also you can rename it in here. You can put values for the different sizes for width and height of that. You can do show center mark. You can see the center of this and a bunch of other things that helps you to design in professional way. So in here we have artboard options that is very useful while you creating your artboards. You can do presets, you can do all of these things in here. Also, there is no difference between these parameters with these icon, but in here you can do it in other and different ways. So click OK, and now if you want to duplicate, if you want to copy this artboard, simply click on your screen and hold Alt and drag it. Now release the Alt and click, you see that I have the same copy of this artboard in here. I can, for example, delete this, maybe rename this in different, for example, logging, yeah, and a bunch of other cool way to work with different screens. You can manage them, you can create, you can delete anything that you want. You can do with this artboard management tools, and it makes your life easier. For example, I have our first screen. I can rename it to a screen 2, and I can up and down with these move up and move down tool, and if I want, I can create another copy of them. And here we go, we have all the copies. So one of the other things that I want to talk about is in artboard management. It's not related specifically to artboard management, but I find this useful most of the time and that I am working on a UI and UX design project. Okay, for example, imagine you have a need help button and you want this on all of your screen. For example, if I create a new, if I delete this, I create new artboard in here. Let's select it, okay, maybe in here, and put it in this side, sorry, maybe in this side, it's a little bit. So if I create a new artboard in here, and you see that I have two new blank artboards, and I want this getting a start button, for example, in all of these screen. In here we have two screen, but maybe in some projects you need a lot of other screen and you want this a specific getting a start button to all of them in one click. How can you do that? You can do that in minimally. For example, you can copy and paste that, and it's very time consuming. So select your shape and go to edit, copy, go to your artboard, blank artboard, the artboard that you want to paste it. So go to edit again, and in here we can choose paste on all artboards. Once I click in here, you see that I have the same button in my blank screens. So for example, if I create another, maybe two more in here, maybe in here I have other one, I have the second one in here, and now you see that when I click in here and choose copy and choose paste in all artboards, you see that in exact same place without any different, it is pasted on different artboards. Okay, that was from artboards, and you can play around with different values of artboards with different other parameters to familiarize yourself with these artboards management that helps you a lot while you're working on a UI design. Most of the time in process of UI design, we will need some objects that we can create with the default and with the custom shapes that are available inside of Illustrator. For example, we need a kind of shape, we need an icon that we are unable to create that from one single shape. So what we need to combine different other shapes with each other to create that specific icon, to create that specific compound object. We can create compound objects, we can create compound shapes from different ways inside of Illustrator. So the way that I want to talk about in this lesson is Pathfinder tool in Illustrator. So how can we access to Pathfinder? Go to Window and choose Pathfinder. Okay, once you choose, you see this type of parameters in here. We have shape modes, we have pathfinders, and I will explain all of them in this lesson. They are very, very helpful for you guys in the process of designing. Okay, for example, I want a subtraction. Let's change the color of it and duplicate, maybe not duplicate, use ellipse tool. I want to combine these two objects that are transformed in one single object. Now they are separated from each other, but I want to combine these two shapes. How can I do that? Select all of your shapes that you want to combine, and the first shape mode is the unite parameter that, for example, you see that it's a tooltip that tells you that alt click to create a compound shapes and add to shape area. Now when I click that, you see that it is created a compound shape from these two shapes. Now they are single object, and you can create, for example, an house from them, or maybe other shapes. I don't know, it's very helpful. Okay, the other usage of these pathfinders, maybe I want a subtraction here, and I duplicate that and put it in this side, maybe a kind of I don't know what is that, but I want to show you how it's helpful. Okay, the other one is the subtraction. Select all of your shapes and click on minus front. What it does, it subtract the area of the second shape that you have clicked on it. Okay, if I Ctrl Z that, you see that when I click in here, you see it's subtract. The other one is the intersect parameter in here, that it's doing reverse action of this minus front. When I click that, it just creates an intersect from this shape. Okay, the other one is the exclude, that it just exclude all of the area that you've selected like this, and it's very helpful. In here we have other tools. It's divided, it can divide other shapes. In here it can divide all of the area. So in here we have divided tool. For example, if we have these types of shapes, we can just select all of them and it divide different part of your shapes. You see that it just divide the border area, the areas that are shapes are overlapping with each other. It's divided with this parameter. Okay, Ctrl Z that, and here we have term. It just term the intersect area, the interaction areas of your shape. Now they are single shape. Okay, Ctrl Z, and in here we have merge. It just merge all of your layers, all of your shapes in one single layer. So Ctrl Z, we have something called crop. Just crop one area of your shape. We have outline, just create an outline of your, and a stroke. You see it's outlined already, and it's helpful while you're working on a project. Ctrl Z that, and we have minus back, that is just doing a reverse action of these two different parameters. Okay, these parameters are very, very powerful, very great while you creating your design project. You have to use them. Maybe in some cases you need these types of compound objects. There's a lot of time that we need these types of objects, so you can use Pathfinder to create that kind of objects for you in your design project.